Hi, everybody. This is Joanna from Universal Love, Light, Ascension Wisdoms, teachings, healings, activations, sound and light language, and breakthrough series, how to break through membranes of old behaviors, old patterns, and allow ourselves to step into new vibrational templates from who we are as resonant divine beings of light and love, living into our highest, holiest experience of the Christic energy bodies, Metatronic codes, and like sacred geometry of who we are as the harmonic song of Source Creator. Stepping out of absolutely every old confinement that we've ever created through old vibrational terms and words and vibrations and patterns, and understanding the psyche, understanding the multidimensional bodies, the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the etheric. Those are the four lower main bodies. As we harmonize and as we ascend, carrying greater light, honoring the higher vibrations of who we are, allowing ourselves to become by honoring the higher versions of who we are and harmonizing them in that sacred geometry, which becomes that fully activated Merkaba. From the higher self to the lower self, when upper and lower become one, inner and outer become one. And it's a beautiful sacred geometry dance. It's the elegant process of human ascension, of the ascension process and all that is life. The sacred song that Source sings, absolutely understanding the highest frequencies of light programs within all aspects of life, from the minor to the major, micro, macro. And so we're so excited to come forward today through my own processes of understanding and remembering who I am as an omnipresent being, come forward in this beautiful human vessel of who I am to share and honor my experience as sacred geometry, as a sacred version of light and love. I wanted to talk about the ever acceleration and the pressing out of energies. As we're moving along in ascension, we're all understanding that in every moment we're being offered new moments to harmonize, and how important, and what we've talked about, the importance of daily clearing, that self-care process in the morning, to do your dream reflection. We have charts and illustrations on this to assist you, those that prefer the visual aspects of learning, and why we've created so many visual illustrations in all of our channeled work, and the visions and the images that I get from Spirit, from the Christ Collective and the Councils of Light and all the Ascended Masters that are working with me, of the Holy Mother and the Father working with me, and the various creators of the Elohim, and how we all are connecting with our multidimensional bodies, awakening to them, healing in the accelerated times, along with accelerated frequencies of reception, which is what we're going to talk about today, the receivership and the sending out, if you will, of who we are as resonant beings in the greater field of the all. Because we are resonant beings, we are attracting and sending out vibrational informations. Why healing is so important. Otherwise, we're continually sending out distorted energies and distorted frequencies that obviously bring to us those experiences. Whether they're through relationships or experiences, they're all forms of our reality, allowing us to see that we are far greater than we've ever known. So how can we then become centered in these accelerated times of experience, so that we're actually manifesting in this now moment, being ever mindful and present within this now through the multidimensional allness that we are, knowing that we're masters many times over, and we have those potentialities and experiences to be able to move through them. And so part of what we wanted to talk about today was living in the center of your greatness. So living in the center of your greatness, and how we often move through those experiences of healing, transmutation, is releasing all of the lack of worthiness and the value and the importance that we all have as individuals. What we've come here to clear as karma, any akashic or timeline lineage, lineage meaning through all of our lifetimes, through all of the families and the familial experiences that we've had on and off world. We're healing lineage experiences from on and off world, planetary, galactic, celestial, and universal omnipresent energies that we're all healing through the expansiveness of the continued pressing out of our consciousness. Our consciousness is all, as the great Cryon, through Lee Carroll, has always offered, consciousness is king, queen. Your kingdom and your queendom that you experience, these are my words, kingdom and queendom that we experience is that pressing out and the mastery and the mediatorship of who we are as consciousness within the all. This is quite profound and expansive and voluntary. Obviously, it's always free choice to allow yourself to know that there is always a proprietorship of who you are with Source. You have the divine beingness of all that is creation, and you're allowing yourself to then open to this creatorship, the proprietorship of who you are with Source, the mediatorship, the commandment. We say commandment, taking it to outside of every dogma that's ever been written about commandment, placing it within the highest sovereign authority of who you are as a Christic being, honoring yourself as a leadership of Source, of light, of love and honor and respect for all life. That's what we mean by commandmentship. How you command yourself as the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual being that you are to express, explore, and experience yourself as ever pressing out consciousness, the consciousness of your kingdom, queendom. That's mastery. It will require mastery as we ever press out into accelerated moments of time, if you will. Time, space collapsing as a speed of experience in the light that you hold. Every cell, every molecule is affected by the resonance of our environment within and without. And we know this as the basic scientific teachings. We're taking it into the quantum quasi omnipresent experience of understanding that we are the micro, that we are the macro. Every aspect of our micro biology, micro resonance is being affected by light. How we command our way moving through all moments is the ability to carry greater light by the releasing of what no longer serves, allowing you to understand that you're attracting all that you're attracting so that you can then review and reflect, and why daily self-care is so important. We're going to keep mentioning it because it's so important as time, and we say time, but that's the word that we have, as all now moments accelerate. Meaning what we understand to be past, present, and future is a now accelerated moment through the light that we carry, through the cells, the microbiology that we are, the essence that we are as consciousness, consciousness leading us in the microbiological experience, consciousness. And your ever awakening experience of consciousness, your oneness as source, is our new understanding of what time is. No past, no present, no future, it's now. So we want to make that very clear. So perhaps review that again, because it is our experience of consciousness. It is now becoming the all as we step into these accelerated templates, which means that we're having to become ever more responsible. We're having to become ever more masterful in the acceleration of what we know to be the experience of harmonics. We have previously called time. The faster that we experience ourselves as consciousness, time will be no more. And an experience of past, present, future will all be now. We're all seeing all realms, we're seeing all versions of ourselves now. So how do we manage that? And it's being that centered experience of who we are in the mindful body, in the mindful mental field, in the mindful etheric field, in the mindful physical field, the physical body of all that we are, which are all vibrational fields, veils, if you will, the clothes that we put on. I'm saying this as the words that we have to explain the vibrational platforms and templates that we take on, that we code prior to coming here at the highest soul level. We code various desires and wants and wills to move through our soul's greatest expression and potentiation to expand and press out with source, to become all that we're meant to be at the highest expression and experience exploration of source. It means that we choose our bodies, we choose our family, we choose our certain personality perspectives, we choose our soul's themes and learnings and gifts and blessings, as well as the traumas and the tragedies and the challenges. Of course, always being altered by the free will based on your level of consciousness that you have. If the continued closed consciousness continues, then those lessons will continue to perpetuate and even de-evolve, if you will. So it's the awakening process is to awaken and say, okay, well, how can I heal and mend this and not perpetuate continued cycles of trauma, continued cycles of devaluing, continued cycles of separation, limitation, fear, and greed. So those are all the aspects of the infinite ways that each being will awaken into their allness, into the greatness of who they are. But to stay centered in this greatness, just to know that we are all accelerating within and without. To be ever mindful and to create that beautiful self-care of how beautiful and valued you are, to create that self-care. And for many that have come from many imbalanced systems and abuse, that's probably the hardest and most brave, bold experience that you'll have to manifest for yourself, is to create that self-care routine for yourself that allows your allness to know that you have your own back, that you are going to nourish your own back, body, mind, spirit, and soul, all that you are, to know that you are the one that is in commandmentship of your destiny, that you are the one that's creating your vibrational field with source, that partnership, that co-creatorship. This will be felt in every way. It is a multidimensional experience of you as source, living as source, through the allowance and through the acceptance of you being this vessel that came to me yesterday as being in the center of your allness, meaning that this is the shifted perspective of resonance, feeling who you are, feeling your resonant body as an emotional field, your mental field, your physical field, your etheric field. This is the cosmic vessel of who you are. You are now shifting your perspective from, yes, it's a human experience, but we are now creating this Merkabic experience. The Merkabic experience is the soul experience, meaning that you can call in any gift, any wisdom, any experience, the thread that your higher self in that harmonization, being your higher self, your soul, calling forward all soul gifts, all interactions that is required, so that in these accelerated moments, you're not only reacting as the ego, but you will be responding as spirit. Knowing that you are a Merkabic, you are a cosmic being of essence, you're a cosmic resonance of light, of sound, of experience in all realms in this now moment, to call forward your comfort level of who you are as great, who you are as a vast, masterful soul in which all masters had brought us to show us that we are now transcending what we've known to be the human experience, valuing and honoring it and giving it great honor and appreciation in every way. But to know that we're now stepping into this very vast and beautiful experience of who we are as a Merkaba, as a soul, as the essence of fluid oneness with source, why allowing ourselves to create resonant vibrational moments to contemplate and reflect upon what does it feel like to be a fluid movement of sound with source. How may I harmonize and be the center of my greatness as I'm harmonizing my mental body, my emotional body, my physical body, my etheric body, and move as a vessel, a cosmic vessel of light and love. So that in these accelerated moments, I know that within a second and within a breath, I'm centering myself and not reacting, but I'm responding. The ego reacts because of old patterns and old beliefs. And we say this because as your multidimensional bodies and fields turn on, as you create those clearings and as you're opening up to greater light, the 8-foot field that you exist within and without, all that you are as a multidimensional resonant being, you're clearing out those clutters and densities, therefore creating greater light. That greater light will allow you to receive and send information at a faster acceleration, higher codes. The multidimensional codes and systems and songs that are sent to you within and without you, your soul, your higher self, all that you are as a being, resonating from your core resonance. And this is why, again, it's so important to balance that mental body, that mental field, that emotional field, because otherwise you're sending out these resonant vibrations that are sporadic and not harmonized. They are static, chaotic, because it's not held within the center of your being as your commandment of it. I am a vessel. I'm commanding my harmonization. I'm commanding my centeredness. This is my destiny resonance. This is what I'd like to experience. I am peaceful. I am serene. I am claiming who I am. I know who I am. I can feel everything. I can sense everything. This is my choice to entangle. You get to then entangle and choose the resonant vibrations of what you choose to experience, express, and explore through the resonance that you hold. But it has to be practiced. As you are carrying that greater light, you will be receiving and sending information at a faster oscillation. And why it's so important, again, that we're harmonizing and manifesting from this center core. Otherwise, they're going to be manifestations that we'll ultimately have to clear and heal again, because we're manifesting from those places of disorganization, of chaos, of imbalance. And so moving through these experiences, as we've all talked about, as we've always offered, as we accelerate in time, the activations within the DNA will be activated, that we get to activate as the commandment of who we are as the source. Of course, doing it not in the egoic structure to, manifest acceleration as quickly as possible, ascension as possible, because that's not the process. It's the journey. It's not the destination. When I first went through ascension years and years ago, 15 years ago, when I was understanding activations and what they were, and I was feeling it, because part of my gifts are to feel things at every level that I'm able to, so that I can explain it and express it in a human experience for others that are moving through the process, so that they can understand what multidimensionality really means and how we heal it, how we master the expansiveness of our greatness. And so the DNA activations will also activate all that we are through the continued clearing and healing of all of these energetic vortices through which that connect us with above and below. These fields of activations of harmonization of ascension, if we're looking at it from the micro, macro, planetary, galactic, universal omnipresence, are all going through these accelerated harmonic templates of songs. They're templates of songs and codes that affect all life in between and all life above and below and within it. We are a part of it, meaning that all that you are as this beautiful Merkaba will feel everything at the accelerated potentiation. If we're not living within this heart space, being this heart-centered being, then we're getting thrown off by everything that is going on within and around us, and why being the center of the storm, if you will, may, as a euphemism, if you will, to how many have felt, being bounced around and prodded and poked, if you will, by all energies, because they weren't understanding, and these are not taught to even the youngest children that feel all of these things, the empaths, the crystal children, the rainbow children, high vibrational children that feel these, because they're always walking in this awake field of experience, of sending and receiving information. They sense it all, they feel it all. Why it's important for us to tune into that and have regular conversations about the emotional field. Allowing them to experience and understand what it is to clear their own field, to set their own vibrational boundaries, to know what's theirs, what's not theirs, and to release it and let it go and clear it and heal it. It's each individual's responsibility to know that and to do that as well, if they so choose. It's always free will. But allowing these conversations to be held at the earliest of levels allows them their own commandmentship, their own mediation of their own bodies and their feelings, so that there's a more open experience to allow the energy to flow, so that their bodies are continually to be harmonized in the higher acceleration of all that we are being offered from above and below. These energetic fields are constantly moving in and around us. How we command and lead through our life with our own, I am a leader of my body. I get to choose my destiny experience in resonance, and this is how I choose to do it. I'm in touch with these accelerated frequencies, so it's going to require that I take greater time for self-breathing, for returning to center throughout my day, for slowing down and releasing all of those old routine aspects that I thought I had to do everything in one day, and kind of create the chaos of routines and the chaos of filling your day up with stuff to do and not focusing on the inner world, because the inner world becomes outer world. And so this is why it's really important that we understand our greatness. Our greatness is our constant fluidic movement with source as consciousness, the kingdom and the queendom of who we are as spirit, light, and song, pressing out into ever greater fields of light, song, and harmonics. It's all resonance. The physical is an illusion for us to play the game, for us to play these experiences. They're very lovely experiences with the ones that we love and so on. But it's really important that we understand that we actually integrate it, process it, and integrate it, so that it becomes a way of being. So that in all of our moments, we're actually threading in that oneness and that healing to all timelines and to all family lines that are requiring our healing to understand this. I understand that I'm a resonant being. I'm going to release those aspects that no longer serve me anymore. What are my values and how I've been behaving and filling up my time, when this is really more important than anything, because I'm seeing that it's creating chaos and distorted experiences that don't serve me anymore. I get to choose. And that's becoming very brave and bold and honest with how you want to move about these accelerated experiences, to get really honest with yourself and center. I'm a fluid moving movement, a vessel. I'm a cosmic vessel. I can see, I can feel, I can hear, I can know, I can sense all things. And as the fields get turned on through the greater light that you're carrying, you will be able to feel it in every way. And why we've often, in all of our breakthrough series, we're offering the reminder of, well, how does that feel? Does it feel really good? So anything that we've recorded in our YouTube channel, if it says breakthrough series, there's those moments through personal reflection, my own experiences that I've brought forward, and to constantly remind you of the daily self-care and the clearing, and to honor yourself as that feeling resonant being, and tap in with yourself throughout the day. Well, how does that feel? What did I integrate and process, and how did I learn through that? So that I can move through this accelerated greatness of who I am, and honoring it in all ways, and honoring the value of all that I am, being this gift to creation. You're gifting yourself to creation in doing so. You're honoring the gift that you are, of all levels and all facets of who you are. And remember, we've talked about this an infinite number of times, the experience of who you are within the all. I'm just going to hold that. These are some illustrations that we've created through our webinars and our global teachings. You are the very center of source creator. All that you are is a soul. All that you are is the all with source. Your consciousness, your queendom, your kingdom, your awakening process, your releasing the density, carrying greater light, allows you to awaken to all of these aspects that you are on all dimensional threads. Dimensional threads, dimensional patterns, dimensional planets, omnipresent experience. When we say omnipresent, not just this universe, we mean the multiverse. So this perspective vibrational thread could be a fifth dimensional body that you hold in serious for experience. For example, this might be a fifth dimensional experience you have in the Lyran system. You might be an amphibious being from another system outside of the galaxy. So all of these vibrational threads that you are becoming, you are awakening to, add to that Merkaba experience that you can pull from for your now moment pressing out with Source in this now accelerated experience with Source, if you so choose. And why it's so important that in this now moment, we're allowing ourselves to take that honor of who are we becoming in this Vesica Pisces, this centering. The Vesica Pisces is so very important because it's the honoring and the balance of the divine feminine, the honoring the balance of the divine masculine, the father and the mother. And why we've had such beautiful ancient teachings. Some of the most ancient of our teachings have come from literally that have been kind of written out of our history of the divine feminine wisdom teachings. And it was through time written out and taken on as masculine. But the divine feminine, the divine mother, came through with the most ancient of the wisdom teachings of who we are as fertile source, the divine trinity of all that we are. Through that divine mother of receiving and allowing that spirit to live through you, you are becoming that sacred geometry that spirit lives through you. And how do we do that? Through all of the imbalances and the notions of the psyche wounds that we've all taken on. And it is that mastery of centering within who you are, that every moment as the sovereignty of who you are, to continually release and peel away the skin like the snake does, peeling away those constrictions in every way, the restrictions, the limitations in every way, physical, mental, emotional, etheric, that you've carried to heal, transmute, and clear and cleanse. And so what that will require is this centering is, and what's been most interesting for me is because of the experiences that I've come from and the many Akash timelines that I can sense into, for me to feel safe in my body for the many energies of persecution, to feel that safety in my body and to know that I can freely be and express who I am without those fears of abuse and persecution, verbally, mentally, emotionally, etherically, that many of us empaths can feel. And to step away from those and building that inner courage and that inner truth of who you are, to truly walk within your sovereignty, to be the goddess and the god that you are, that kingdom and queendom that you are co-creating. You're co-creating your sovereignty. And that's what the ultimate, every master came to teach us. It was never ever to follow any one being and give your subservience to anyone. None. That was never the intention of religion, if you will, that turned into religion. The masters came to emulate and radiate to us and illuminate to us. It was never to create a religion within it. That's a different episode. What we're offering here is that we are each the masters of our own queendom and kingdom, and our experience with Source Creator. That is the true essence and the foundation of sovereignty. That's the joy that Source allows us to experience. We're pressing out into ever great vast fields of consciousness. How may we do that within our own authority, within our own commandment, our own leadership? And what that will require of us is this ever returning to center at an ever quickening pace, because everything without is becoming now within our cellular resonant that we are absorbing, that we are receiving from without, within, are accelerating, which means that it will require that we be more flexible and be more accommodating, that we be more adaptable to the environments. The environments are accelerating in every way. We say environments not from the experience that we've taken from old textbook experiences of science and biology and physics. Yes, physics in a consciousness related form, not in textbook physics, because they've left much of consciousness out of physics, and it's all physics. It's all source. But that's a different episode. What we're saying now is that we are the consciousness of Source Creator, becoming ever more consciousness and ever more great in that knowingness. That's what awakening is. You're acknowledging, accepting, and allowing yourself to be Source. You're expanding your greatness, your vastness, and you're acknowledging it. Yes, I acknowledge I'm vast. I'm great. Physical, mental, emotional, etheric, and I'm becoming ever great in this flow. It's going to require that divine feminine in me to allow adaptability, to allow flexibility, to allow all of my wisdoms, all of my experiences, all that I've been through, to be in that centering. It's like a soup of your allness, ever present with Source. When you're surrendering in this centering of your greatness, the center of your greatness, And this is practice. Trust me, it's practice. And it's mastery to remind yourself of this. When you surrender to your allness and your centering of your greatness, you open the door for source to alchemize everything that's moving through you. It does not mean that source is the I want to make sure that we're saying this so that we are not taking ourselves out of our mastery and our commandmentship and our sovereignty, because that's not the intention at all. This is something that Source wants me to make very clear. When we open the door and allow Source to live through us, we are allowing the essence of love, wisdom, expansiveness, and eternal light to be our tool of alchemy in our co-creatorhood. And so listen to that a few times, because there's many multidimensional stories in what we are offering. For we are the creators of our co-creative reality, aligning with that knowingness. I claim my creatorhood. I claim my wisdom and intelligence, and I am in oneness with Source for the highest and the greatest good, divine order. All that is benevolence, the benevolent factor of being this partnership with Source for the greater good. I am that I am that I am. All will be served, the am that I am that I am. That is the co-creative tool through which all is alchemized. It's the alchemy of how you now proceed, how you now respond in a benevolent, centered, vast, great, benevolent way. The Holy Mother, the Holy Father, integrating all. This is what's so mind-boggling. We are integrating eons of patterned behaviors, multidimensionally, multiplanetarily, multi-cosmically, multi-omnipresent. This is just mind-boggling what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing. Mastery, and this is why we don't often put ourselves in this highest regard to honor. Wow, this is what's really going on. I'm honoring my complete resonance, my commandmentship to balance my divine feminine, my divine masculine, my omnipresence of Source. And I'm now calling Source to live with me. I am the commander. I am the magician. I am the alchemist. And I am transmuting all that I am to see so that it is going to benefit me and reflect the greater good that I choose. I want to serve. I want to be this gift to creation. I want to ensure that my light affects the all in the highest, most positive way. I am this leader of light. I am the alchemist of light and love. This is the center of my beingness. I'm awake to love now. I get to live this acceleration in joy. I get to live this acceleration with knowingness. Yeah, I got this. Yeah, it's taken me years of mastery, eons of mastery, literally, eons of mastery. Your Lemurian, Atlantean, Lyran, Arcturian, Orion, all of the challenges and the tragedies that we're experiencing in this all in this soup that we're co-creating requires that we become we don't have the word for what we're experiencing. The consciousness awareness that we call forward in our moments of vast awakening, to be the awakened one in a vast field of what you can experience and co-create. We don't have words for what this is. Just let me breathe into this for a second. We're becoming aware of our allness and our oneness within it. And this requires that there are an infinite number of experiences that are coming through to you so that you can co-create these fields of benevolent sparkle and play and enjoyment. So therefore, your allness, your vastness, your awakenedness, your expansiveness is now your ability to, it's like a thread, a string. You have your mastery is your ability to thread the needle, if you will, and pull it all in. Call in your consciousness, call in your focus, call in your intentions, and co-create that experience that you so choose, not out of ego, because it's from that heart. The ego might want certain things, but the heart, and you're surrendering to spirit every moment, you allow all to be alchemized for the highest and the best, and you will always receive what the soul and spirit requires of it. And that human experience for, say, paying your bills and the food and the nourishment that your body needs, or a soul tribe that your body wants to be nourished with. You know, those that will understand, appreciate, encourage, and empower you for you, who you are and your gifts and your skills, and co-create with you in that way. All will be served to you in this surrendering spirit, but it requires that we become ever more adaptable and flexible in these accelerated frequencies. To do that, that's mastery. That's your building your mastery. Not to be subservient to the ego or any aspect of anything outside of you, with anything. This is what pure sovereignty is not to be subservient to anything or anyone outside of you. No program, no being, no group, no country, no nothing. We are allness in our sovereignty. Allness, oneness of source. As we each live from this experience of allness, our greatness, everything is automatically served and we become that essence of oneness. We're living in our oneness, the law of one. We live within it and we experience it because our fields will be turned on, our bodies will be turned on. You get to feel it. When you're centering within this greatness of who you are, you're understanding that your allness and your centering will serve the greater good of all. You're healing those timelines automatically. You're healing those experiences and relationships because you're allowing. Now we're going to go back to what we said earlier that was so important. When you're centering and surrendering in the source, you're allowing the highest potentiation of source, love, and light. The potentiation of the highest potentiation that source is unimaginable, undefinable, indescribable. You cannot put it into words. It, capital I, capital T, source, Holy Mother, Holy Father, living through you. That is the alchemy of everything as you press out into accelerated experience of massive consciousness, requires the ever centering of your allness to understand what's being reflected back to you. The greater vastness of who you are to be reflected back to you. Because you're allowing source to alchemize everything right now with you. You are the leader of this. You are the sovereignty of this in partnership, hand in hand, foot in foot with source. Not having source, there are those old sayings, let go and let God. No, you are one with God. You are source creator. And that is allowing you to step into your highest, truest self-empowerment, self-knowing that you are one with source, with the highest level of reverence, the highest level of honor and humility for you. You honor yourself enough to know that I want to have this beautiful experience returned back to me. I want to experience my vast in consciousness. I want to experience who I am as source. I want to experience those beautiful experiences because I'm worthy of it. And that's where the worthiness and self-value and self-importance really comes into play when you're doing your daily self-care. If you did not care about yourself, you would not create those moments of self-care and nurturance and healing and expansive. And how may we teach that and offer that as a reflection, as an illumination, as a radiant reflection to our children? You honor that self-care time. Are you balancing your emotions? And how? How can you press out and explore how you can balance your emotions? How can you bring your body into greater balance? It will take greater adaptability and flexibility and innate knowing, that inner knowing, listening to our intuition, and that's the divine feminine. And why divine feminine was probably some of our most earliest teachings on this planet, from the great mother and the great cosmic sisters, bringing those healings of the great goddess mother teachings for us, so that we can allow all of our intuitive wisdoms, all that we are as a cosmic vessel, to live through us and expand and press out through our will and our intelligence. That's the Holy Father. That's like a Pisces, that we're constantly, and why it's so mind-boggling that all that we're doing and pressing out is consciousness. It's mind-boggling. And all of the healing and care that goes on at night when we're in our dream time, and all the lightship experiences. I posted something on our Facebook and these beautiful things that I have that occur on my body in the mornings through all my lightship experiences and my healing at nighttime. They're all experiences of me moving, and all of us. So what they're saying to me now is they're saying that you're so those of you that understand our teachings, I often move in and about expressing myself not only as me, Joanna, but as the conduit where there's various beings and councils and groups speaking through me. So this is why you'll see in ways that I speak and I offer these offerings of the multidimensional Christ consciousness in various ways, so that I'm allowing the highest aspects of source to live through me in whatever way it needs to. And so I'm allowing the ways of speech and channeling information to come through. And you'll know as you sense the vibration, that they're seeing that through the personal experience of who I am, to see the vastness of my consciousness being reflected back to me as I'm honoring in all my allness. The more that I honor my allness, the more that I nurture my allness, the more that I allow myself to be held high within this, holding yourself in the highest regard, that you are worthy of these special moments with source in your allness, it will be reflected back to you. But it requires that we release all of the conditionings, all conditionings, and those experiences that we thought we had to feel, the ego control every experience. Those were for safety issues from abuse and mistreatment and eons of fear and control systems and programming. To completely let go and be in this surrender so that you and source become the alchemy, so that you can choose what direction and what destiny you want to experience. Your destiny is ever changing as you are. You don't come with just one destiny. There's many destinies that are constantly changing, especially because we're now a one collective heart. And all of these teachings and wisdoms are going out collectively in codes and versions and vibrational songs, so that those that are so inspired, even though they might not listen to this, they're picking up on the codes that we are sending through our bodies and our multidimensional fields with the greatest and highest intention of divine order, for those to come into fruition of who they are as the cosmic vessel, the Merkaba of who they are, to come forward in their highest light and co-creative experience and their joyful play as the sacred child with Source Creator, so that we can continue to co-create beautiful songs and beautiful resonances of ever eternal pressing out timelines and ever pressing out the beauty of co-creative earth in many ways that can be defined in the language that you have, but is a vibrational story, ever moving and ever flowing. And how may we soften within it and allow ourselves to be changing every moment, to be adapting and to be flexible and to be allowing and to be honoring. Even when things are being pulled away and being transmuted, to honor it and allow it to be transmuted. And those take us completely out of every 3D system we've ever had, because we're always clutching onto the old paradigms of beliefs that we've had about cycles of experience. You know, change is the only constant. That's evolution. And we've been so de-evolved for so very long. That will be the hardest adaptation that so many will have to move through. To completely live in surrender, to know that every moment will serve you. The highest process of acceleration and ascension will always be in the acknowledgement, in the acceptance and the allowance of all moments. So when you're surrendering with Source and you're saying, okay, Source, let's do this. I want to alchemize because what I just experienced was not okay. I want to change and shift it. Show me what I need to acknowledge, accept, and allow, so that I can shift myself into a new paradigm of experience with you. I want to experience the vastness and the greatness of me. I'm awake, I'm aware, and I'm ready to co-create. That's a master. And it requires that we're going to have to ever shift our presence and be mindful in the body. So they've been teaching me lately, as I'm moving around and I'm so affected by frequencies everywhere. Like even if I'm going out grocery shopping, I'm affected by the frequencies everywhere. I can feel it. And they're constantly reminding me, be mindful in your body. Just be present and be mindful. So that brings all of my consciousness, because the 8-foot field, I feel in everything. I can, if I'm driving, I can feel people driving by me. My field feels it all. So to be mindful in this present space, bring all of your consciousness, because you remember, the vastness of your greatness is now connecting with everything, and why it's going to require that we have greater rest time, greater downtime, less time on electronics, so that we can quiet and call in our consciousness to be centered and mindful, so that our multidimensional bodies can heal, clear, cleanse, reset. Because otherwise you're either overstimulated and becomes chaotic, and you become static in those experiences. And when I become static, there's too much going on. I start to, my body starts to go into overdrive. Because what happens is that your fields are connecting with something that doesn't feel like what your core resonance is. I'm just giving you a quick experience. We have many videos on this. Your fields of experience will sense the resonance. And this was overwhelming when our global virus first came in. I was going through major dark nights of the soul every day, because of the density I was feeling from the planet. Because remember, it's all from Gaia's releasing, the depression energies and the timelines that we've all experienced, the tragedies that we've all experienced are being released. Everything has to be cleansed. And so as your fields experience those energies, your body then, it's automatic experience, because you're not in commandment of it. That's why mastery and your self-healing, your daily self-clearing are so important, because your bodies will then start to go into fight or flight. That's just the natural experience that your body goes into, because your body and your psyche are saying there's something going on here. It's not safe. That's when those fight or flight moments, and that's why your body starts to jitter as your fields of energy wake up. It's all resonance. It's all fields of energy. You're waking up to it now, and your body will begin to react to it. as you clear and cleanse, you're carrying greater light, which means that you're able to sense greater information, which means that you will be allowing your body to co-create experiences of overload or overstimulation, and where therefore you have to clear and cleanse, center, ground, get outside with Gaia, and all those things we have to do to care and nurture for our now ever accelerating, responsive, multidimensional bodies and fields. And why it's so important to do that daily clearing. At nighttime when you're going into bed, have that shower and that bath to clear and cleanse your fields, so that you're not taking those energies into nighttime, dream time, and co-creative time, because we're co-creating 24/7. There was something there I wanted to tap on, but the bodies react. And so it will require us that we're continually being mindful of, am I responding, am I reacting? The reaction is from the ego, the psyche level, the mind level, lower mind level, not the higher mind. So the response comes from just centering and being that center of whatever is going on, being the center of your greatness, so that you understand that you're a vessel, a cosmic vessel of multidimensional allness. You have the ability to tap into and feel anything that's coming to you, and your body will respond. So it's up to us to say, okay, body, what am I feeling? Again, tune into why you're feeling what you're feeling. Well, there's a situation in this room that doesn't feel okay to me. I'm going to leave. I'm going to retract and release myself from this experience. And it allows you that moment to choose and constantly navigate your way in moments that feel better for you. You're constantly navigating with Source Creator, dropping to your center, allowing Source to guide you, allowing your intuition to guide you. And you become this resonant vessel of movement navigation. And so what we've often offered in our illustrations, that daily self-care illustration that we have, dream time reflection illustration that we have, so that you're guided in your own way to know that it's going to accelerate. Your bodies and your fields will turn on. Your bodies will go through various forms of letting you know that it's time for you to be the leader in the commandment of who you are as a multidimensional being, a Christic being. You know, we're going to have to step up into these new accelerated fields of play, which means that, okay, how can I care? How can I honor? How can I navigate? How can I nurture and allow this movement with Source in a way that serves me and serves the greater good? So that we're constantly manifesting from this mindful centered space of greatness, you know, our allness, our sovereignty, our oneness with Source, all the greater good that we're here to serve and experience. And it's that allowance of expressiveness. How's my body feeling? I feel great. I feel good. I want to create this beautiful experience of being joyful and dancing and singing today. And those are those co-creative moments where you're putting those energies out into your field for that field to be then sending back to you. And that's done after the clearing. Always allow yourself to clear any density, to clear any traumas, to clear any lacks, limitations, and frustrations before you then go into your co-creative experience. Again, it's all free will. But it requires that you be courageous, you be bold, and you be brave in owning that part of you. And so many people, that's part of their mastery that they're learning. Because we've been taught, especially what you're healing, divine masculine or divine feminine, various ways to rebalance the mental body, the emotional body, the physical body, the etheric body. You know, all of us that have had witch timelines, you know, where we've been witches, and how it's been so misunderstood and disregarded and disrepaired, and persecution at every level and every eon of experience that we've all come from, because we've had those alchemic divine wisdom and divine feminine experiences that were misunderstood. You know, the shamans and the oracles and all those energies that we've all played, those archetypes that we've all played, we're now harmonizing it into a higher version of who we are. We are it all. We can bring them forward with great honor and great pride and great courage, and own who you are and say, yes, I'm going to use my skills for the greater good. But it requires that I own and I honor my body with great mindfulness, to be present in my body. What am I feeling? How can I clear that? That's not mine. Okay, I'm going to move in this way now. I'm going to clear this. Is this mine? Well, there's something that I felt yesterday. It kind of triggered me. So let's go in and do some reflection on this. I'm going to clear this out now. Clear it out. It doesn't belong to me anymore. I release all that no longer serves. I release all that doesn't fit with my new vibration of who I am as a divine free essence of light. I get to choose what serves me. I get to choose what fits with me. I get to choose how I co-create in this. And I'm allowing Source to help me alchemize anything that feels out of comfort. Because that's part of our role too, as light workers and as mavericks and as sages, as oracles. We're constantly being this cosmic vessel that allows Source to alchemize through pure love and pure light. That's what we want, don't we? Don't we want this beautiful experience of light and love to be before us as we step forward? We're creating it. It's that ever moment now that we're alchemizing. And so just know that your bodies will react. Your emotional body will react. Those called triggers. I mean, that's been a pop word for a few years now that people are awakening. But it's connected with every multidimensional system. Remember, if you have an emotional trigger, it's connected to a physical, mental, and emotional imbalance, an etheric imbalance. As your fields and your bodies awaken, mental, physical, emotional, etheric, the Merkaba of you, as you clear and cleanse and detoxify, decalcify, clear out those densities, then you will be feeling and responding in a more accelerated way, because we're accelerating within and without, the micro, the macro, the molecular. And so it requires that we be adaptable and flexible to all these changes, and releasing every aspect of control, limitation that we have, the belief systems that we have about ourselves. It will come forward. You'll just notice it in your subtleties. If you're controlling any part of your day, those are systems that will have to be let go of and transmuted, if you so desire, to live in this flow of source. Otherwise, they will feel ever more out of control, because the source creation is just saying, let go of it. You need it. Just flow. Your connections with others, your connection with the environment, your connection with all it is going to be so rich, because you're not holding any of these experiences and belief patterns in resentment, in resilience, in resistance of who you truly are as a great being. And this is why we say our topic for today is the centering of your greatness. You're great. Great means great, profound, all. We're mastering how to live great, because we've never been taught or told these things. We've never been shown that we're far greater than we think we know or can even imagine. And all the things that we're healing and manifesting and transmuting in this now moment are profound, beyond imagining. And understand that your bodies will react, your fields will react, but it's up to us as masters to say, okay, well, I'm going to take that half an hour at the end of the day and just clear and cleanse. I'm going to allow myself to press out even greater and just have fun with it. And that's the ultimate foundation of understanding that you're creating great fields. And we can let go of, they're reminding me that there's so many that are in fear of that ego mentality, and you can shift it. We're, again, releasing everything that's 3D. And a part of the 4D healing and clearing is those emotional psyche wounds of the unknown. We can release that, because if we're living as that sacred child and just pressing out in our greatness to explore and be curious and be magical, that beautiful sacred child that we are, coming as the cosmic vessel, that allows us to really release those insecurities about the unknown. If you're creating it from that vibration of being that sacred child, that's in this now moment of co-creation, that's what you're going to experience. I'm willing to drop to this center and respond in a way that I am the sacred child and I am a cosmic vessel. I have all access to all information. I've got teams and beings behind me. I've got the infinite number of angels with me. I know who I am, and I've got this. And just know that. It's a knowing, as my name is, source is, I am. Yeah, I'm going to create this way, and I'm absolutely a master of my ship, my commandment ship, me and source. I get to alchemize, I get to co-create, I get to be this being of light. And it's a fluid movement of source reciprocation, absolute honor and balance of all things. And if it's done in any other way, then that's the experience that you will experience. And that's valid too, because that's how one learns. If you're manifesting from the level of ego, that's what your lesson is. Until it's enough ego and you say, okay, this needs to shift because nothing is changing. I want this to change. I desire a more expansive experience. There's no right or wrong. It's all valid. So again, the divine feminine is mindfulness, presence, and allowance in the body. If you're doing that, then when you're in those social experiences, especially crystalline children and those that are empaths, then you're allowing that resonance of source to alchemize whatever it is you're feeling. Because that's that infinite flow of unconditional love and light, and that will transmute anything that you're feeling that is not divine and sacred. What I was doing is that as my bodies were turning on, I was in my bodies were just reacting. It was just like everything was turning on. My mental body would have a reaction trigger. My physical body would be triggered. I'd be just like this, because I'm so empathic, I am so attuned. My physical body and the fields that I was existing within was already pulling up and sending to me those timelines that they were connected with. It was overwhelm, complete overwhelm. And why my teams are saying what is more important now than any other time is rest and allowance for your bodies to regenerate, to reset, because it's a stimulant overload. When your bodies and your fields get turned on and you're not doing that clearing. and why that self-love and nurturance is so important, to know that you are a vast being of cosmic wisdom and intelligence and energy and vibrational songs. You're entering into accelerated energies that are so, as within, so without, as above, so below. It's all accelerating. The infinite song of source is accelerating. So we're allowing ourselves to step up into our mantra and say, I got this, source. Yeah, I'm here. I knew this moment would come. I'm ready to take ownership of who I am. I know the fields are accelerating. I know Gaia's accelerating. I know my families are accelerating. I'm accelerating. Let's do this. And you open an allowance. It's not the matter of doing it. It's the becoming. It's the being. When you're simply allowing all that you are to trust and to know, as the ant story taught us, doesn't matter what I'm calling in from those old perspectives of not being 100% consciously aware of what I'm co-creating. This now moment of co-creation, I'm going to be that sacred child of excitement, and I know that I can manifest and I can transcend and transform whatever comes before me, and I can release all the fear. If we're doing it from this excited, beautiful, embracing state of who we are as this greatness, that's what we're going to be accelerating and experiencing. Yes, there will be challenges we have to transcend and transform, but that's why we came. We didn't want it to all be easy. Oh, I'm totally laughing. Totally laughing. My teams are saying it's going to get easier. Hardships are over, because it's been the biggest mountain that you can ever experience uphill for me. It's like, when is it going to get easy? When is it going to get easy? But it's all served me. I mean, could we have created what we have created and reminded ourselves of what we're able to co-create with source without those challenges and the mountains and being the end? Would we have, and how would we have a respect for ourselves in that way, honoring everything? So thank you, dear Light Allowance, for helping us share in this beautiful moment in this breakthrough series. We're going to call this probably our breakthrough series, in our opening up of our wisdoms of who we are as the centering of our greatness. I'm so grateful for you. I wanted to pull a beautiful oracle card for you. These are so amazing, and the highest frequency of energies in this beautiful oracle deck. Lucy Cavendish. And these are high vibrational oracle cards. I'm so happy to share them with you. Remember, if you wanted any coaching, any intuitive sessions where we get to the foundation of any akashic block that you might be experiencing and challenge. Remember, those blocks are like stairways to your own experience of who you are in your own greatness. So just know that they're a part of your path. It's okay. We're all experiencing them. We're all helping each other and reaching out to know that we are one in this family. And in all times that you do and take that brave and courageous and bold step to own your stuff, sort it out, honor yourself when it's time to step forward, release what no longer serves, release those karmic cycles and patterns, then you are absolutely the master of your experience and your co-creating divine majesty. Just know that. And it's not always a straight up. Ascension is never always a constant straight up process. It just isn't. We're moving within the infinity of who we are as beehives, the micro macro experience of who we are as sacred geometry. And it will always be a back and forth working the energy. Always. So these two have fallen out, and I'm going to pull one more. So just know that. So if you'd like to reach me, my email will be in the description box below. We're still sorting out our website. And we're putting a new WordPress together for simple ascension offerings and coachings and healings. I do light language and sound healing as well. So just know that. Obviously, it's on all our videos. Oh, I love this one. Oh my gosh, Skyfire. Oh, look at that. It's just the imagery. I'm going to hold that up. I mean, isn't that beautiful? Just gorgeous. This one is the gift. Oh my gosh. Be present, be honoring. Oh my gosh. It's honoring and offering. And we were just talking about that reciprocation. It's that honoring of the divine feminine, and you're softening in that allowance. A beautiful, delicate, and elegant dance. These are so beautiful. And this one is returning home. Transition, life between lifetimes. And again, why we're accelerating is because there's so many timelines that we're threading into this new now collective moment. Get the best view of that, see? And so what's coming up to me right now is this gateway. This is I'm going to put these down for a sec. The gateway right here. They're very symbolic. Gateways are very symbolic, obviously. Each and every one of us through our own mastery and our own sovereignty, honoring yourself as valued, honoring yourself as sacred, honoring yourself as important. All that you are is this beautiful cosmic vessel of importance, of value, of greatness. You're taking yourself through new gateways in every moment. And each time you do, you're returning home. You're returning home to the vastness of who you are as unconditional love. You're returning into the vastness of who you are as unconditional spirit with source creator. And you can and do and have and experience all things and be all things and co-create all things. So know that that is a knowing. And no one and no thing can take that away from you. And that is living within your highest, supreme, subservient to no thing and no one, sovereignty as spirit, free, liberated spirit as light. You have that birthright. That's why you are here. To remember and live, express, explore, and experience your birthright to sovereignty as light. I mean, look at that. Look at it. It's just amazing. And it says transitions, lifetime between lifetimes. Why we feel those triggers, because again, we're threaded with an infinite number of timelines and lifetimes and bodies that are all triggering us to say, hey, that's a part of me somewhere. I'm going to clear it and heal it now. I want to be whole. I acknowledge myself as whole. I accept myself as whole, and I allow myself to be all that I am in all moments. I am spirit, having this beautiful human experience, but I'm a cosmic vessel. And I know that I can sense, I can feel, I can receive, and I can send information in a multitude of ways, which means, you know what? I got to step up. I got to level up here. I'm going to use this mastery to my highest and my best. I want to each day reach for my highest version of me. I'm light. There's nothing that light cannot transmute and transform. I own this. This is my destiny. While I am here in this now moment, this now body, I have the right to live my best life. I have the right to be nourished. I have the right to be healthy. I have the right to live my highest creative expression. I have the right to help and serve people in my best way. Those are my birthrights. That's sovereignty. And I will live this. That's my devotion to me. I have my back. My soul wants me to have my back. Physically, mentally, emotionally, etherically. Honor thyself. And that's where you just become the gift. You are the gift. You're offering it to creation. You are offering yourself as, I am the creational gift. I will offer this forward. I honor myself. I have gifts. I have wisdoms. I have all that I am as a spirit and a soul. And I will offer it forward, if only to experience yourself as pure joy. There's no motive. There's no motive. Just live as spirit. All will be served. You will have and receive all that you need. There is no egoic motive. And you will see and you will feel and you will sense in every way when your body and your fields turn on, those that you entangle with that have motives. You will feel it. You will sense it in every way. That's okay. That's their jam. That's their experience. And you can choose to step out of it and not entangle with it, not thread with it. You are this pillar of light. You get to choose how you thread your energy, how you weave your energy. And it matters. It absolutely matters. Because you will sense when things are being entangled with that are not of your highest and best. Your fields will sense it. Your bodies will sense it. Your intuition will tell you in every way, this does not serve you. You're self-sacrificing. You're giving way too much. You're disempowering others by not tapping into their own light and their own truth and their own sovereignty. Because you're doing it all. You're giving it all. And you're being trampled on. Not everyone deserves your light and your experience, and that's a master's way of honoring and say, well, I'm giving way too much here. This is not worthy for me anymore. I'm valued. I know who I am. I'm self-important. And that's not in the egoic hubris way at all. It's knowing that your soul has great capacity. So how am I spending my time and my energy and my space? And allowing others to learn through their lessons and their underlying themes. You can't do it for them. You can emulate your highest and your best truth by being your highest pillar of light in your sovereignty. There's still oneness there, but you can choose to say, I'm done with this game of overgiving. I'm done with this game of, manipulation and, lack of worthiness. I am worthy. I am great. And I am Skyfire. In the most beautiful and honoring way, but it takes for us to own, wow, I am special. I am precious. I mean, how many of us have ever been brought up with those experiences? It's time to do that now. And it doesn't have to be done in a way that creates dissension or separation. It's truly honoring thyself as the soul and to know exactly as a master how much time is being placed on those that don't appreciate it, don't honor it. It's still oneness, we're still oneness, but these times are asking for us to truly become aware of who we are, how we're manifesting and co-creating, and when to step back and step away from situations that do not serve, whether it's a career, whether it's relationships, whether they're jobs and hobbies, those things that we've done in those 3D frequencies. How can we step away from and truly honor? How do I feel when that occurs? Am I honoring myself physically, mentally, emotionally, etherically? Because I want to honor myself. I want those around me to honor me. I want to be celebrated for my offerings. I want to be celebrated for who I am. I deserve that. That's my right. That's your right too. And you can show that through your emulation, through your radiation, through your illumination, and live it, be the light of source. And not everybody will be on that same pathway and vibration. That's okay. What we're offering here is to be absolutely true and pure in alignment with your soul's truth, and knowing when to say this no longer feels like it's in resonance. Your bodies will tell you. Your intuitions will tell you, your dreams will tell you, synchronicities and alignments will show you and direct you and open doors for you and portals for you, so that you can walk through those gateways that will be honoring of your spirit's and soul's destiny to experience, express, and explore with source as the soup of source. Because there'll be many people awakening. They're just reminding me there'll be many people awakening to their next stage and their next level, next timeline gifts. Those timeline gifts will be creating something new with those that are in the field of consciousness being brought together and woven together for new experiences of co-creation. And so this Skyfire is, well, I didn't read this until just now. So messages, channels, and information. So again, you will be shown, is this serving you? And your soul and your higher self are ever pressing out and sending you synchronicities, cues, and wisdoms and hints and celebrations to say, go here, touch that, read this, connect there, explore this, express that. You're constantly being communicated to as this ever pressing out greatness. And to honor yourself in the way that is valuing yourself and all others. And remember, we say what we say, not in the prejudice of what others are experiencing at all, but what it's really wanting us to explore and experience is that sovereignty and the mastery that you hold within, to know yourself and when to say when. Coming from abusive and de-evolved systems, and to have done the work that we have done, it's really important that we absolutely know when to say when on experiences and energies that we're co-creating within that do not serve. And we all understand them as the old karmic cycles, but they're just patterns of experience that we're not stepping out of. And we can put whatever labels and terms on it we want. It's not separation. It's sending everything and all beings light, because we are all the one. But to really truly take ownership and mastery of where you choose to now direct yourself with source, step by step, foot in foot, hand with hand, heart by heart with source, so that you can alchemize your destiny. You can alchemize your experience. My body is harmonized with source. My mental body is harmonized with source. I'm clearing and cleansing everything within my mental body that is not serving me. I call all of my consciousness, my mental consciousness, all that I am a spirit, to my center now. Now I get to co-create with source. I am balanced and I'm grounded with Gaia. I call out my most divinely creative experiences with source. I'm a child of experience. I'm a child of co-creation. I'm a curious child of source. I can create anything. I can explore anything. I'm one with Gaia. I want to speak with the plants. I want to speak with animals. I want to help in this way because I know I have these gifts, and I'm really excited to be me. I'm joyful to be me. And why not? Allow yourself to know that every time that you do allow yourself that new potentiation of new mastery resonance, of centering within your greatness, you're going to allow all experiences to also level up in vibrational potentiation. And not all people will want to level up with you, and that's okay. That's a part of the soul's journey. To remember that we're also releasing any and old obligations, restrictions, and limitations that we've had on the life cycle in and of itself, because again, we're stepping out into becoming this cosmic vessel. We're infinite, eternal beings of source. There is always that thread with all beings that we've ever been created with. We're just going to see them and co-create with them in different ways, because they will be wearing different forms. Your soul will call in the exact experience with whomever you need at whatever point you need it, whether it's an ant, whether it's a ladybug, whether it's a being, whether it's a light ship, whether it's a star, it's a planet, it doesn't matter. Your soul, this is, again, it's vast. You're vast, you're great. Beyond what we can imagine. Your soul is constantly calling in things for you to realign and center and say, okay, source, let's do this. I want to adapt to these changes. I'm flexible. I'm open and allowing to whatever you want to bring me in all moments. I'm here. Let's go for this ride. We're never going to know. It's not going to be planned for us, but we can be excited about it. We can embrace it and be the master of who you are. You're divine and you're great. So know that. You're so blessed, and we love you deeply. My divine soul tribe, we love you. And we send you divine light and divine knowing. Stay tuned for our light language activation and our sound healing. Namaste, dear lighted ones. Go be vast and go be great. Bye.